What up, you beauties? Thanks for tuning in. This is officially kind of my release, if you will, from being on pause for physical activity. So, long story short, my last visit at the hospital wasn't a definitive release, but I don't know if you guys know this, I'm actually sponsored by Nike. I'm kind of in a just do it mood. Effectively, all I'm trying to do is get back into my activities like snowboarding, skiing, biking, rock climbing, Spartan races, and well, the list kind of goes on. That's what you guys have seen, but that's kind of like what I'm going to be getting back into, and it just comes with a bit more safety and precaution when it comes time to doing them. So believe it or not, I'm actually wearing a mouth guard for the bulk of activities now, just to kind of stabilize my head a little bit more. So obviously wearing a helmet and being a little more cautious with the spending of energy that I took in with the last burger videos. But anyway, that's kind of the nitty gritty, if you will. With regards to story time though, which is what part 3 of 3 is supposed to be, I've got 2, it's kind of 3, so we're going to split it into 3, but 2 of them are in the hospital and one of them is in rehabilitation. So route number 1, effectively it's the same group of people, which is the story 4. So anyway, when you're in the hospital, especially for the duration that I was in there, you have doctors coming in and you actually have them going through where you are, how you're feeling, blah 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 blah. Anyway, what's the date, that kind of fun stuff. So I'm in the bed, they come in the morning, and sure enough, how are you? How you doing? What's going on? Where are you? What's the date? Now, the regular answer would just be the Ottawa, the Civic Hospital, and whatever the date may be. But one day they come in, and I go, oh, the Milky Way, around the sun, on Earth, North America, in Canada, Ontario, Ottawa, on Carling, in the Civic. And I don't remember now, but my room number, they absolutely hated it but loved it. It was pretty funny. The guy that I said it to, the upper one, the teacher, if you will, at least that's what I presume his role kind of was, came back after and was like, man, that was too funny, but you can't be doing that, which is totally understandable. It's not clear and concise, and at the same time, it kind of makes me look like a jerk. But you know what? It was funny. He thought it was funny, and I think it makes a funny story. So anyway, we're going to bounce into the rehab section for a sec, and I'll come back to another doctor story that I thought was entertaining yet again. But anyways, so in rehab, there was a number of things that I had to do, like physical and basically just the little things like cooking and reading and figuring out puzzles and patterns and stuff like that. So one day I'm having to go and cook or make something effectively to ensure that you're comfortable in the kitchen and you're not going to be, well, a hazard to yourself at home. So I go into the kitchen and I'm like, what would you like me to make? They're like, oh, make whatever you want. It's like, what am I going to make? Like, I don't even know. I don't have recipes. I don't know what they have for ingredients. So I kind of open the fridge, look around, and sure enough, you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to make grilled cheese. So I'm making grilled cheese and just having a time at it, making it, and telling them how I normally make grilled cheese. Now, what I'm making is straight up bread with butter or margarine on it, cheese, and another piece of bread with butter or margarine on it, and flipping it around, all that fun stuff. So your basic of basic grilled cheese. Now, what I was telling them that I normally do for grilled cheese, and this is kind of like a little extra than what I do normally do, but it's effectively what the goal is. And you know what? I might just have to make one. Because normally what I do actually do is I'll have an egg that I'll make on a pan, sometimes bacon, and then I'll put a piece of bread, cheese, egg, bacon, cheese, and bread. And then after it's done cooking, I take it apart and put a tomato in it and then warm it up back on the pan for a little bit, just so that the tomato is not like cold. So anyway, that's effectively what I told them, and they're like, wait, what? But the funny part of all this is, yeah, I was telling them all that fun stuff, and some of the other recipes I make, like cakes and stuff like that, muffins, whatever have you. But the killer was, when I was making the grilled cheese, it wasn't going on the spatula, so I put my hand about that close to the pan. They thought I was touching it, and they're like, what are you doing? You can't do that. I'm like, what? That's how I do it at home all the time. And sure enough, it is how I do it all the time. So, well, I was not a fan, but they were kind of shocked by the amount of recipes that I do make and what I make. Now, to cycle back to the lovely hospital, one day they kind of came by and they asked me how I was doing. And I told them that I told them I was lost. And I don't think I made it into the right 5-star hotel because there is no pool. The shower is really weird and confined. The beds, like, they work, but they're really nice and movable. You can orient them however which way you please, but they're just not all that comfortable for rolling around on. And the food, oh my gosh, the kitchen could really do better. I'm sorry guys, and for those of you that work at the hospital or whatever have you, by no means is it shots. It was all just a game. It was straight jokes that I was making with the staff. But that one absolutely killed me. But guys, it's back to adventures. It's back to having fun outside and having fun making food. And you know what? I'll cycle back to, maybe making a Nerf gun look good every once in a while. But guys, take care. I'll see you next week where I'm going to show you how to put roof racks on and how to wax skis or a snowboard.